Every woodworker wants to make a dado for an arbitrary shelf. We use a technique that'll make it work perfect for any shelf. Very low tech. One cutter, a couple of cheap templates, a cheap bit. Only take a few minutes, get a perfect result every time. So this is a workpiece. We want to put it in here, put a dado in this piece of oak down here on the table. First step is to just get a piece of straight fiber board and square it up to the working edge or the reference edge of the workpiece. Alright, that piece won't rotate. We'll use a cutter with a ball bearing on the shank, and the ball bearing's just a little bit bigger than the cutter. By about this amount, the thickness of that paper. Got the working place, paper, second template. This beam is pretty handy. I can clamp from both sides. Before I take that work out of there, I make sure it doesn't wiggle. And it is got a little bit of squiggle here, so I got to make sure that doesn't occur. That's it. Now that space has been mapped out. I'm going to have a hard time making a mistake. We've got the space mapped out. The paper and the work were in that space. Bring the router in. We're going to cut the dado from both sides. So I'll waste here about a diameter's worth. Slide it out. Come back in here and just typewriter waste this section all the way to the other side. We'll minimize the breakout if we cut from both sides. So I need to put on my gear and plug this tool in, and we'll make some chips. Before I undo the templates, I inspect the dado and make sure there's no chips on the edge of the template. If there are, that meant the bearing bounced a little bit. Also note that the cutter is a lot smaller than the slot, which means one cutter is good for all different thicknesses. Sand a little of that flash off of there. And that's it. So any width, any thickness, any two work pieces, one cutter, pretty snug dado, and that's it. But that's real nice and close right now. In fact, you probably won't tolerate much glue at all.